1990 and Bachelet's government recently.
Yeah.
So how do you explain that? How did socialists converge into sort of liberal policy making, economically speaking?
Yeah. Well, you must close that one. No.
Okay.
No. You know, most
We
of
can.
No,
we
please.
can.
No. I'm joking. You know, because most of the socialists, when they left Chile, when they went for the exile, when there was the military government, so they seek for the political refugee. Exactly. So they stayed 17 years in Europe. And, you know, in 17 years, there was a lot of change in Europe. The Berlin Wall fell, the Soviet Union disappeared, the own communists say, we are wrong. So those socialists who were in Europe, learning what's going in the world, they went back to Chile and said, we can continue with the socialist program. So we must follow what's going on in the world. So they call reformados, reformistas. So they were like social democrats, in other words. So that's the reason, as you say, you know, there was not big difference between a socialist or from the right side of the center of the Christian Democrat. All they were agreed that the new reforms and policy and economy policy was that one. So that's, I think they learned in Europe. They went to a very good school. Yes.
I have a few observations on
Of course, yes.
I'm sorry, that's my mistake. I forgot to present the Honorary Consul of Chile in Turkey.
So, okay, of course, my observations about Chile is the observations of a foreigner
Please.
who know Chile a bit. Well, I'll give you some examples. For instance, Chile is one of the biggest exporters of lumber in the world. You know that. However, Chile doesn't permit that one single tree is cut from the forest. How does that occur? Well, they made a study. They found that it is called Pinus radiata. Becomes grows in 20 years to the size it may become. So they reserved an area for industrial forest plantation. They divided into 20 sections. The first year they planted one section, second year, second, third, third. At the end of 20 years, the first section was ready to cut. So they cut these trees and planted immediately. So every year is the turn of one section. They cut these trees, they plant new trees, and this continues on. And this project, okay, Allende came, didn't change it. Then came the military regime, they didn't change it. They returned to democracy. Concertation ruled the country for 20 years. They didn't change it. That's it, stability of the programs. Another example, Chile had a terrible earthquake in 1960. That was a big disaster. And they have made all the rules, all the constructions made according to the new rules for anti-earthquake rules. And so again, since 60, and at the end they benefited from it. I'll give you another example. A year and a half ago, the Vice Minister of Chile came to visit Turkey for to join the meeting of OECD. Of course, it was the hot subject was the economic crisis. And I asked her, what will be the situation of Chile in this economic crisis? And she laughed. She told me, all the prices of the commodities are up. And the this means that a crisis coming if all the prices are going up constantly. You should expect a crisis. We knew that the real price of copper should be only 1/3 of what it was in the market. We reserved the form in a special fund, unless only 1/3 in Codelco, which is the copper company. Now we'll balance the damages of this crisis from this fund. And they have done it very, very successfully. Chile is almost the country which is least affected by this earthquake. And another example, again, Santiago, 1/3 of Chile lives in Santiago. It's a big city of 5 million people. There's a very good metro system, but only 5 lines. It's not enough. It's not a big one. It's not enough for the whole city. However, when you enter the underground, first you pay your toll. You go to a bridge. Below you have the case for the trains, and everywhere it's written, "Why are you running? The next train is almost to come." And it's true. Nobody is running. You see the train. It's there until you walk down. It leaves. You walk down slowly, and after 30 seconds, the next train comes. So the Chilean philosophy is to do good whatsoever you do, and do not try to do everything. Because if they were trying to make subways 15 lines, it wouldn't be that efficient. Before I became the honorary consul, I was thinking that Chile is like other Latin American countries. Do you know there's one country in Latin America who do not have a tradition of fiesta? Which one? So that's a huge difference. And for the transition to democracy, I will give you an example. But first, let me tell you, the president of Chile between 2000 to 2006 was President Ricardo Lagos, an excellent statesman and an excellent politician, very powerful person and very knowledgeable person. While so far, whoever has met him, even in Turkey, has admired. So, when he visited here as a president in 2004, he told me, look, everybody is asking us why we are not prosecuting Pinochet for the human rights violations during the military regime. He said, in fact, of course, many things have been done. Even himself, he was hosted in the jail for some time during the Pinochet regime. He said, whatsoever has happened, has happened. If we punish Pinochet, these things will not be restored. Now he is over 90. He may die any time. And if we take him to jail, and if he dies in the jail, can you imagine? About 45% of the countries still like him, and they will say they have killed him. And Chile will be locked in the discussions for the past. However, let's forget the past, whatsoever has happened, look to the future. That's how you can pass from military regime to the democracy. Because if you cannot go over your feelings of vengeance, you cannot achieve anything. You can only divide the country. That's what I learned from. And it's a big experience. So these tendencies of vengeance in fact, for any country, can only divide the country. And it's a very big danger. It is not the transition to democracy, but it will be transition to split the country. As another word for the about President Ricardo Lagos. Sorry, President Ricardo Lagos, as I told you, sponsored a great statements among all Latin American countries and Spanish-speaking countries. One day, an Argentinian journalist was interviewing him, and he has asked him, is there any certain politician which you take as an example, as an idol for? And he said, yes, Kemal Atatürk. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions, comments? You had one, right? Okay, one last question.
I can understand the inter-party convergence that we had in the 90s, but I can hardly understand the public consent on this change after a long period of public political polarization that took place in the 1970s. How did people react to the convergence of the 1990s about liberal politics and judicial review reform?
Well, during the military government, there was opposition, you know, there was underground opposition, and of course there was fighting in order to, as soon as possible, to get the democracy in Chile. So they were working hard to have to be prepared for the democracy. So when the military decided to go to this referendum, I told you that it was a high percentage. They were still supporting the military, but the majority was to put finish to the end of this military. So there was a big, how would say, group of or great population or participant. They wanted to put an end to the armed forces regime. So when came 1990, the country was prepared to rule the country, if we can say, but also there was a great opposition that was still supporting the military. But I think Chile or Chileans will learn the lesson. You know, there was not good to be divided. You know, and in good and bad, depending which side you were. You know, so when I think the Concertación, who was the coalition government who was starting ruling the country, they were very wise, as Mr. Haluk says. You know, they put in trial immediately Pinochet, or the transition was very smooth. So for us, the Chilean was very good that period, you know, because there was not like a counter-revolution or to put in jail that people who served during the military government. So it was a very pacific transition to the democracy. For that reason, South African, when they got the independence after the white regime, they sent people to Chile to learn how was this transition from the military government to the democracy without problem. So that's the answer. I think Chile, we were very tired to be divided in good and bad, depending, I say, in what side you were.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador.
Thank you to everybody. Thank you to be patient.